What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Saurus here, and the wait is over. The NDA on World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria is finally lifted. Hallelujah! And we're here talking about it, and I'm going to be looking at some of the controversy surrounding the Pandaren race and the expansion itself, as well as one of the most exciting things I've heard coming out of this deluge of media that we are getting right now today as of at midnight last night. So look, here's a quick quote from Chris Metzen about the Pandaren April Fool's incident. We got to debut the Pandaren race for April Fools. I think that because of that, people think that we feel it's innately comedic. No, April Fools was just a fun opportunity to show the idea. I know for me, a lot of the times when I would hear things about Pandaren, pandas, all these kinds of things coming up for the new World of Warcraft expansion, I would, for a while, I continued to think it was just all just jokes, hearsay, and whatnot that, no one really knew what they were talking about, and people really started to take it seriously. I'm like, guys, this is an April Fool's joke, whatever, and so I didn't really think it was ever going to come to fruition, but apparently Blizzard, has had this in the works for a long time, and the Pandaren was almost the alliance race for the Burning Crusade. So it's something they've been thinking about. There was a Pandaren character in Warcraft 3, but other than that, you don't really see them at all. But I think it's interesting. I think it's cool. I enjoy Eastern cultures and these kinds of things, so I think it's a pretty neat idea. The fact that they do Kung Fu is interesting also because we all know of a certain other panda that practices Kung Fu, and unfortunately, yes, that is something that a lot of people are going to look at and be like, okay, this is kind of goofy or whatever. But if you think about that, Blizzard has been planning to have the Pandaren race for a while. It's not like they're just trying to kind of copy some sort of kiddie movie or something like that. So you can't think of it as a child's expansion or a kiddie game or something like that of that nature. It's actually a full-blown heavy content expansion, and the locations look absolutely beautiful. Like, looking at them, the Eastern themes in them are great. I love the way they look. I love all the nature and how it looks so peaceful and so pleasant and everything, and so serene and sort of graceful. It's really cool and different looking than what we are used to seeing in Cataclysm, where things are torn apart and everything's sort of ravaged and burning and dark and solemn and the end of the world is coming. I think it's really neat, though, that they're kind of giving us a little bit of an up note, or if you want to say a light note to it, but they definitely are talking about how the war between the Alliance and the Horde is really going to be elevating during this expansion, and that will be accentuated when the Horde and Alliance both land on Pandaria, and they will be fighting for, at this point, I don't know if, I'm assuming some sort of resources, some sort of secret that may be hidden away, some sort of power that maybe they want to weaponize, who knows, but the continent of Pandaria will be ravaged by war from the Alliance and the Horde, and I would just have to imagine that the seemingly peaceful people, or I shouldn't say people, the seemingly peaceful Pandarens will not appreciate this, and I don't really know how that's all going to play out, but I'm very anxious to see it. And what's really neat is that in the final patch of Mists of Pandaria will be the Siege of Orgrimmar, which is something I was very excited to learn about, that we will actually be heading to Orgrimmar to eliminate the war chief, Garrosh Hellscream, to replace Thrall as the war chief for the Horde. But here I have a quote from Chris Metzen here about the final patch of the expansion. I'll just cut to the chase. The final patch of this expansion does not occur on Pandaria. The war between the Alliance and the Horde heats up as they roll onto Pandaria, and it's certainly a huge battleground, but things get so gnarly and out of control, it starts to spiral into Crazyville. The final patch of Mists of Pandaria will actually be the Siege of Orgrimmar, where both factions, for their own reasons, lay siege to this city to bring Garrosh down to put an end to his reign as war chief. I think that is so awesome. Now, maybe coming from the perspective of originally playing an Alliance player, I have Alliance tunes, I have Horde tunes. Right now my main is Horde, but I kind of learned the game, learned the mechanics, leveled as Alliance. So I think it's very interesting to be able to head to Orgrimmar and kill Garrosh. I just think that's pretty awesome. But I am wondering how that's going to be with like the Horde. As Horde, especially the orcs, and if you know much about the lore, you know how loyal orcs are and that they would die without a second thought for their war chief. Totally undeniably loyal. And they'll follow him into war, follow him wherever he goes, and do as he commands without a second thought. So that kind of bothers me a little bit, but I'm really interested to see how they demonize Garrosh and what they, how they portray him to be so evil that even the orcs themselves would turn on him. And maybe there's a conflict within the Horde. Maybe the orcs do want to support him. I don't know. We'll see. But that's very interesting to me to know that that's what's going to be coming, and I'll be interested to see how that does play out. All right, guys, thanks for listening to me ramble on and on here about World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria. I'm obviously quite excited, and I'm ready to get in there and do some kung fu craziness and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the world's looking quite stunning. The character models for the monks look quite nice, and things are looking pretty good. So, guys, if you like the video, please like it. If you like it, like it. How about that? And subscribe. Thanks.